the process will be completed within this month, between the end of May, but everything is now signed, waiting for the approval of the government. But Chelsea Football Club will have new owners, with Todd Bowley to be the face of this new project. Hey guys, welcome back on the channel from Fabrizio Romano. Huge day, huge hours for Chelsea Football Club fans, because finally, after a really complicated and tough moment, Chelsea have new owners. It's the end of Roman Abramovich era. It's the beginning of a new era, so everything will change around Chelsea in the atmosphere, but many things have to change on the transfer market point of view, and so let's jump into it together. And so guys, official statement during the night from Chelsea Football Club. I can read you what they said. Chelsea statement now confirms that terms have been agreed for a new ownership group led by Todd Bowley, Clearer Capital, Mark Walter and Hans-Jörg Wyss to acquire the club. So the process will be completed within this month, between the end of May, but everything is now signed, waiting for the approval of the government. But Chelsea Football Club will have new owners, with Todd Bowley to be the face of this new project. It's a huge news, as I mentioned before, for Chelsea Football Club, because they needed some fresh air, they needed to rebuild after the complicated moment with Roman Abramovich, because of the political situation or the financial situation in the last few weeks for the club was really complicated. And what happened is that Chelsea, because of the sanctions, they missed on the possibility to extend the contracts of Andreas Christensen, who will join Barcelona on a free transfer, and Toni Rüdiger, who will join Real Madrid on a free transfer. Now there are many things to be decided internally at Chelsea once the new ownership will arrive and prepare the strategy for the future. First point, let's go with the defense, guys, because Azpilicueta has extended automatically his contract till 2023, but he needs to make a decision together with the board. And so if he wants to continue at Chelsea till the end of the next season, or if he wants to join Barcelona, Barca proposal is still on the table for Azpilicueta, but we know that there are chances for Chelsea to keep him. Marcos Alonso. Guys, from what I'm told, Marcos Alonso wants to go back to Spain because of personal reasons, and now it will be time for Barcelona to open discussions with new Chelsea owners. Of course, it's not a matter of days or hours. It will take some time for Chelsea to rebuild the club, but at the same point, Barca have already spoken with Marcos Alonso representatives. They want him, he wants to go back to Spain, so it's now up to the two clubs, and let's see what happens. It seems pretty clear that Chelsea will need some players in that position. So centre-back, let's see what happens with Koundé, who's always been a target for Chelsea since last summer, and they are still exploring this possibility with his agents, but no negotiations with Sevilla, of course, because the situation was in standby. Let's see what happens with Emerson Palmieri. From what I'm told, he will be back at Chelsea from Lyon loan. He's not staying at Lyon. He wants to go back to Chelsea and then decide with the ownership what they want to do. So let's see what happens with Emerson Palmieri, because Juventus are interested in signing him. Many clubs are exploring this possibility, but it's up to Chelsea, because the player will not stay at Lyon. Midfielders, Jorginho and N'Golo Kante. Two important points. Both players are out of contract in June 2023. They're waiting since 1 year to discuss with Chelsea about their contract extension. Still nothing agreed, but both Kante and Jorginho were waiting for Chelsea to decide what they want to do, to negotiate. And so now for the new owners, it will be important to decide right now. A few weeks ago, Tuchel said, we need to clarify as soon as possible this situation, because it's in the same position. So it already happened with the defense, with Rüdiger and Christensen. Chelsea had a big problem, a big issue with these two players' contract, and now can't happen the same with Jorginho and Kante. So it will be a priority this summer for Chelsea to resolve both situations, or one of the two situations, as soon as possible. Then let me mention another really important player, Mason Mount, Chelsea boy. He's really committed. His priority has always been to stay at Chelsea. But we know that for Mason Mount, since September, they were waiting to open negotiations on a new deal, but still no proposal on the table. Now will be time to discuss with his father, who is his agent, to see what they want to do on the contract point of view. It's not an urgent situation for Chelsea because it's still a long contract, but it's something that they need to resolve if they don't want any top European club to jump into it and create problems with Mason Mount. And then, guys, with the strikers, they will need to make a decision with Romelu Lukaku, with Timo Werner, so it's important to see what Chelsea want to do with the striker, with Pulisic too, so it will be really, really key to see the strategy with strikers and the strategy with players who will come back from loans, top talents like Armando Broja, like Conor Gallagher. Both of them are waiting. Conor Gallagher would be happy to stay at Chelsea, but it will depend on proposals. But Chelsea, I think, would make a great decision if they want to trust him. Armando Broja, many clubs interested in him in England, in Italy. Many Italian clubs are following him. Levi Colwill will be back at the club too with a contract till 2025. Centre back from Huddersfield on loan. He's doing great. So many talents will be back at Chelsea. Many decisions to be made. It's the beginning of the new era. Of course, Thomas Tuchel always said he wants to continue with Chelsea. Now he will have discussions in the coming weeks with the new owners to have a strategy on the future. But from what I'm told, Tuchel's priority is still the same, to continue with Chelsea. And so he could be the face of this new era without Roman Abramovich, but with Thomas Tuchel, who is expected to be the man for the new Chelsea ownership. Let's see what happens in the coming weeks. But today is the day Chelsea have new owners. And so guys, let me know your thoughts on this Chelsea revolution, Chelsea new era. I wait for your comments here, guys. Chelsea fans, I guess you are finally happy you can have your club back at the best level, not on the pitch, because Chelsea have always been great on the pitch, even in a difficult moment, but on an ownership point of view. And then guys, remember to subscribe to the channel, many updates every single day. Remember to turn on the notification bell so you're not missing any single video, and see you soon with Fabrizio Romano. Ciao!